So my name is Becca Ajibade. I study English literature, drama and theatre studies, and history.
Hello, my name is Mustafa. I study A-level English literature, history and sociology, and I recently completed an EPQ.
English literature is something I was really interested in from like a very young age. Like when I was in primary school, I was reading all the time, always had a book in my hand. When I got to GCSEs, it took me a while to get into like the essay writing, but by year 11 I was thriving and I loved writing essays, which is a really weird thing to say, I know, but I really did enjoy writing essays and I got like a really decent grade out of it at the end of it.
I like English literature because it feels like a movie but in book form, and allows me to like get real insight into the characters. I love the psychology behind the characters and how that can be expressed through like language or big symbols they convey, or even the way they develop. For example, one of the texts we study is Othello, and there's a protagonist named Iago, and initially he wants to seek revenge, but in the end becomes pure evil. A typical lesson usually includes a close analysis and summary of the text, whether that's prose, poetry or plays. We look closely at language, structure and the context, and we also have class discussions on key topics or key themes and like different interpretations that individuals may think of. I think it's a good balance between independent like learning and also like class discussion, because at the end of each lesson we get to do like some sort of exam practice, and that's quite independent. Like you pick up what you learn in class and then your teacher marks it at the end. Weekly as well, we also be in the computer rooms, as you can see here, and that's quite engaging as well. And occasionally I look forward to, we have every term some sort of presentation on like a key character or theme. I find that quite fun as well.
I like the books. The books are very hardcore and gritty. Death of a Salesman, Othello, those are like I've never really read a book like that before. Like it's a big leap from GCSE. It gets a bit emotional at times because it's a bit hard hitting.
What I love about English literature is it's tied to tragedy, but it comes in different forms. In Othello, we look at the betrayal and the tragic elements of that. In Keats, we look at the love aspects in tragedy. And in another book called Death of a Salesman, we look at family and how that can be a form of tragedy as well. Teachers can be really supportive. They can give you detailed feedback, help structure your arguments more effectively, and they'll always be free to help you. You just have to ask. And I love how teachers encourage you to go beyond the curriculum. For example, they tell us to read articles or different productions of, for example, one of the plays we do, Othello, and different versions of it, and how you can look at it from different angles as well. And do wider reading on like critics examples, for example, as well.
So my teacher is Mike Green. He's a great teacher. He supports us by he gives us little scaffolding tasks. So when we struggle a bit, like especially with the coursework, because coursework is very new to us at A-level standard, so he'll give us little scaffolds and like make us write like mini paragraphs or like 2 paragraphs based off those scaffolds, and then slowly, bit by bit, remove the scaffolding so that we're able to write, but just have to memorize how we actually place it out. The basic one is, if you don't like writing essays, it's not for you. That's the basic one. What I would say though is, if you are someone who likes discussing big ideas, and if you like looking at things from a different angle, being challenged in the way you interpret books, and like if you like reading books in general, then you should like at least consider looking at this place.
My advice for prospective students is to be open-minded. At first, you may not get the grade that you expected or you got at GCSE, but that's quite a universal experience, and I feel like don't be disheartened. I think what matters most is being consistent. For example, when you finish every topic or like book or text, or even as you go along, I feel like you should make the resources so you're more prepared. After college, I plan to pursue a degree apprenticeship as a solicitor, and English literature equips me with those essential skills. For example, research, academic writing, critical analysis and evaluation.
I want to go to university. Which university, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I really want to study law, which is part of why I chose English literature. Essay-based subjects, you need to do a lot of essay writing in law, and you need to get used to so much reading.